What is up, everybody? It's CJ Plays here, and I'm back with another Sims 3 speed build, and I'm also back with my annual Gingerbread House speed build in The Sims 3. So if you don't know, every year around the holidays, I make a gingerbread house just to kind of, celebrate the holidays and stuff like that, get me into the holiday mood, and it's like a little tradition that we do on the channel, honestly. So this year in particular, I've been trying to just branch out with my building by building things that I normally wouldn't build in The Sims 3, or honestly just The Sims in general, primarily modern houses. I never build them. I feel like I just don't know how to make them look good. I know that they can honestly look like anything, it's modern, but I don't know. I feel like I just don't know how to make them look that good. So I knew that I wanted to make this one into a modern gingerbread house because, I need to branch out. So I went to Google and I was trying to find some inspiration pictures, and I found this image. It was like a gingerbread house that somebody had made, but it was like stacked. It kind of reminds me of like presents like stacked up in a corner somewhere. But also I was like, I need to build this as a house in The Sims 3. So as you'll see right now, I am using the Katy Perry Sweet Treats wafered wallpaper. I wanted this one to be like more blue and white to kind of like play into that modern theme, because I feel like whenever I do a build like this, especially if I'm using Katy Perry Sweet Treats, I have to decide if I want this house to look, practical and decent and maybe as close to an everyday build as possible, or do I want this to be like kind of tacky, very on brand, very heavily themed. So this year I was like, why don't I just try to make this one look a little bit more practical? I mean, when you open it up and look inside, you'll see that it's a little bit tacky. I mean, to be fair, it's a gingerbread house, so like it's gonna be a little bit tacky somewhere, but I think that this one looks more digestible, if that makes sense. Like, this one is more digestible than maybe like last year's build, But as you can see right now, I am just putting some windows. Originally, I put a lot of the Katy Perry Sweet Treat windows. I still use some of them, but I also swapped a lot of them out for these ones from the store. I cannot think of what set it comes with, but I use like these nice store content windows. And then I ended up using a half wall from the base game just to kind of give the house a more modern look. This house ended up being a 3-bedroom, 3-bathroom. So there's a bedroom and a bathroom on every single floor of the house. So, we have that. And then when it comes to like the landscaping, I didn't really go all out with landscaping. So I'm building this house in a world called Wells. It's literally a world that's shaped like a well. I found a world overview of it. It looks really cute. I can leave it linked down below if you want to download it. I think it's only base game if I remember correctly. The reason why I'm building it here though is because like this world has a area that kind of like has white texture on the bottom, and it looks like it's always snowing there. So I was like, why don't I just build this there to kind of like fit in with the snowy theme, So moving on to the inside of the house, I was trying to figure out the floor plan. So usually when I do floor plans on houses that have like multi-stories, I try to like figure out the floor plan by placing the stairs down first, because usually wherever the stairs are in a house, I can kind of like build walls off of that. So what I did for down here though is I kind of like separated the area a little bit. Whenever I have like open floor plans like this, I try to start by putting down a living room first, then maybe a kitchen, then I can kind of like figure out where I want everything else to go. So like for this big room, for example, I kind of just like put a bedroom and a bathroom in the corner, and everything else is pretty much open. So I use the chairs from the Into the Future pack, which I don't think I've ever used these chairs for anything. For me, they just look kind of big and bulky and kind of plasticky looking, and I was like, well, it kind of could fit into like a gingerbread house, like maybe this is like one of the really nice ones that cost a lot of money to like buy the kit or whatever. But I use like these really nice ones from Into the Future. I used the coffee table from the Showtime pack, and then I recolored everything to kind of fit more in line with like a Christmassy theme. So I used that snowflake design like almost everywhere in here, and I also used a lot of those snowflake mirrors from the Seasons pack, because like as I was going through the catalog, I kind of realized that there's not that many snowy and like Christmassy. We have a couple like holiday items, but there's not like a lot of them that look like snow. Just, so I had to kind of get a little bit creative. Moving on though, this is the kitchen. So I use these storybook countertops in upper cabinets, which I have like a interesting love-hate relationship with these. I like the way they look. However, the cabinets at the top, they don't really have the same preset matching swatches as the regular counters at the bottom. I would have to do like a video or something to explain to you, but yeah, I was a little bit disappointed when I bought them and they did not match 1-1. It was a little bit annoying, but I ended up using them because I felt like they have like a more whimsical look to them. It honestly reminds me of something that you would probably see in like a Dr. Seuss story or a movie or something like that. So I ended up like using those in here, and then I ended up like mapping out where the kitchen was going to be. So I used some base game tile at the bottom, and then I ended up using, I forgot what set that stove comes with. Maybe it's the Provence stove. I can't remember right now, but I ended up using the stove and a nice modern fridge. I was trying to figure out next where I wanted to put the table, so I ended up using this one from the store. I cannot remember what set it comes with. Maybe it's the mid-century set. I can't remember. There's like a lot of stuff on the store, y'all. I don't know. But I was gonna like originally pair them with these really tall chairs from the store, and I thought it looked so cool. It kind of reminds me of something that you would see in like a villain's lair or something like that, or like a bad guy's lair or something like that. And I was gonna use them, but I felt like they were a little bit too tall for the table, and I felt like it just took up a lot of unnecessary space. So I ended up like swapping them out with the chairs from the seasons pack. I thought that looked a lot better in my opinion. I did recolor the wood at the bottom to be a little bit more bluey. As you can see though, a lot of this build is going to be blue, white, gray, you know, just to kind of fit in with like the snow theme, like, you know, ice castle, icicle type of thing. I also used a fireplace from the Into the Future pack. I moved it like all over this floor because I was trying to figure out like what would be the best place for it to go. Again, open floor plans are a little bit intimidating sometimes because it's like, where do I put things? I want things to look nice, but I don't want them to be like in the way. So I think I ended up moving it on the other side of the couch, I want to say. Oh, and that bookshelf right there, y'all, the one that looks like a tree, I ended up using it for a kid's bedroom upstairs. So I was going to use it down here, but I was like, that's doing a little bit too much for like a general sitting area. So I ended up moving it upstairs to a kid's room. I put a lot of stuff up there actually. And then the bookshelf that I ended up using was the one from Into the Future. It's a little bit modern, but I really like it. Again, it is a modern house. So I was trying to like find a nice blend of modern and like Christmassy stuff, but there's not like a lot of modern Christmassy stuff in the game, you know, so it was kind of hard to kind of figure out like the furnishing, especially downstairs. As you'll see, a lot of stuff ends up changing with the furnishing and stuff. Like I had to pause the recording so many times, y'all, just to fiddle around with things, recolor things, try out different objects. It was a whole thought process with this one. Like for example, that little like wall decor that you saw behind the TV, I don't even use that. I think I ended up going back and putting snowflakes behind it. I like the little record player over there from the 70s, 80s, and 90s stuff. I thought that was a nice touch on the corner. And moving on, we are in the first bedroom. So if this were to be like a family house, this would be where the parents would sleep. So I ended up using the bed from the seasons pack. The default swatch looks like Santa's sleigh, and I was like, I have to use it. So I ended up recoloring it though to be like a more, you know, blue, grayish, white kind of color. And I ended up using those end tables from the seasons pack. To me, they look like branches, but I was like, why don't I just make them white to kind of look like snow on the branches and stuff like that? I ended up using some of these snowflake wall decals in here as well. They kind of show up like almost everywhere in the build. Again, you know, like I said, there's not that many like snowy objects in the game, so I had to kind of get creative. I ended up using the mirror and the dresser from the seasons pack as well, and I use this 70s, 80s, and 90s stuff pack couch in here, which I never used that for anything. I know I used it like yesterday for yesterday's like speed furnishing video, but ever since yesterday, I've loved this couch. Like I think it looks so cute, so I was like, I have to use it again. So I used it in this bedroom, and I also used that lamp that comes with the Showtime pack. For some reason, it kind of looks like snow falling off of a branch, or like icicles coming off of a branch to me. Again, you know, I was trying to get kind of creative with this one, so, you know, if I stretch the truth a little bit, just kind of bear with me. But I like the way that the lamp looks, so I was like, I have to use it in here. I put a modern bookshelf from the base game. I really liked the way it looked, and I also felt like it covered a good amount of space in the corner, so I ended up using that in here. And I think that's like everything for this bedroom. Like I said, a lot of stuff changes, so honestly, just stick around for the screenshots because they'll show you how the house will look once you go and download it, because I do have to change a couple things off camera. Oh, and I also used the chair from the seasons pack. I was going to replace the other couch in here with one of the ones from seasons, but the one from seasons isn't a love seat, it's a full couch, and it was a little bit too big for this bedroom, so I had to stick with the one from the 70s, 80s, 90s stuff pack, you know. But moving on, this is the first bathroom. So this bathroom, y'all, is so big. Honestly, this could have been another bedroom. Like, for real, if you download this house though and you need like extra space, feel free to like change it if you want to. I don't really care. But I made this into a bathroom, and like I said, it's so big for a bathroom. So I had to like draw out a wall in the corner just to kind of take up a little bit of space in here. But I ended up using some of the countertops from the Ambitions pack. I was going to use the same ones from the kitchen, but I was like, maybe we can use some different ones in the bathroom. So I ended up deleting those, and I ended up using the ones from Ambitions. I thought those looked kind of cool in here as well. I was trying to find a place for a mirror, and I didn't want to delete the window that was in here because I felt like it let in a good amount of light. So what I did though, I separated the Katy Perry Sweet Treats windows, and then I put one of those snowflake mirrors in between it just to kind of give the bathroom a mirror, you know. Moving on upstairs, I found this nice little display. I think it comes with Aurora Skies. It's like a shelf with like glass on it, and I was like, oh my gosh, that looks so cute. I need to use it. It kind of looks like something that you would see in maybe like Santa's workshop or something like that. So I was like, I have to use it. This is the point of the build where I had to like remind myself that there's actually holiday items in the game. So upstairs, I decided to like make this into like a little office-y kind of workspace. So I used a computer desk from the university pack, and then I also used a bookshelf over there as well. And then I was going through and I was trying to find the holiday tree, and I forget every time that it's actually listed in the lamp category along with the presents that comes with it. They're like classified as lamps, so I had to like place some of those down in the corner. And then I also was trying to like fill in this space a little bit more, so I ended up putting an art easel from the outdoor living stuff pack because I kind of felt like this one kind of gave off a wintry vibe. I don't really know if that makes sense, but it kind of gives off like a Christmassy wintry vibe. The metal kind of looks kind of cool in here, so I was like, maybe we could put like a nice skill building item in just in the hallway, you know. Yeah, so as you'll see, I was trying to like find a location for that holiday tree. I was like putting it downstairs, I was putting it upstairs, so I was like, maybe I could just like squeeze it in the corner. I ended up putting another one of these trees upstairs, so this house actually has two, but for down here though, we just have the first one. And I also used that little like Santa Claus gnome, and I thought it was so cute. I don't think I've ever really used it for much, so I had to use it in here. I ended up using a lot of those holiday wreaths in here. I also ended up moving the shelf over to the wall to put a couch up here just to have like a little sitting area. I also put like a little coffee table above it just so your Sims could have like a little place to chill. But moving on, this is the kids' bedroom. So like I said earlier, I had to use that tree bookshelf. I thought it looked so cute in here. I recolored it to be white, and then I used a story content bed, and I paired it with a university nightstand. I also used a university dresser in here as well because this bedroom isn't super big, and I know that I had like a lot of stuff that I wanted to fit in here, like an activity table. I used these Generations rugs. They look like flowers, but they kind of look like snowflakes in a way, so I recolored them to kind of maybe look like a snowflake as best as I could, you know. And then I ended up also putting a toy chest in here. I think I used the castle one from this Generations pack, and then I also used like a little costume chest as well. And then like I said earlier, the activity table. I used the one that's like from the animal set on the Sims 3 store, and it comes with like a polar bear swatch, so I was like, I definitely have to use that in here. So yeah, and then I also used like the little snowflake mirror again. I also found like this branch wall decal. I think it's supposed to be for like autumn, so I recolored it to be white to kind of make it look like it was a winter tree or something on the wall, you know, so I thought that looked kind of cool. And then moving on, this is the upstairs bathroom. So I wanted to use the storybook countertops in here as well because I kind of felt like maybe the kid that lives in the room next door probably uses this bathroom a lot, so I wanted to kind of play into the idea of having like whimsical countertops in here. So I ended up using those, and I ended up using some of those base game mirrors, and then I also used a base game rug, and I just recolored it a little bit. But that's pretty much it for the bathroom. And moving on upstairs though, this is the final floor in the house, so I decided to make this one for a teenager. So I feel like this teen is probably about to age up to a young adult, so I kind of wanted to give them a little bit of privacy in here. So what I did was I gave them like a little sitting area over here in the corner with a couple of these chairs from the late night pack. I also used the base game coffee table, and I put like a little stereo from the store just so they could have some music to listen to and kind of hang out. Maybe if they have friends over, they can all hang out up here. It's a little bit annoying too because you cannot raise or lower those wreaths on the wall. So I had to use the base game bookshelf because it kind of like filled in a good amount of space and it didn't cover the wreaths completely. And then there's also like this little awkward angled corner piece. So I decided to make this into like a little reading nook, and I put like a little chair. So I ended up using like a little matching chair over there instead. And then moving on, this is the bedroom. So originally I was going to use the one from the Showtime pack, but then I realized that it was a little bit too big. And then this bedroom was going to have an ensuite. So I was like, I need to maybe use a single bed just to kind of, you know, make sure that we have enough space to kind of maneuver everything. Plus I wanted to use like a desk in here, so I ended up using a base game bed. I put it in the corner, and then I ended up using some industrial looking furniture in here. So we have like a dresser, we have a nightstand. I also ended up using the desk from the Fastlane pack because I thought it looked a little bit industrial, and it kind of like matched pretty well with the dresser and nightstand in here. It's actually a table, but I used it as a desk, so you could put two chairs there if you wanted to. I also feel like this teen is going going through a little bit of a rebellious phase. So I feel like they're trying to rebel against the holidays and, you know, hanging out with family and stuff like that. So I decided not to put a whole lot of like holiday and Christmassy stuff in this bedroom. There's like one little callback though. So there's this beanbag chair in the corner, and I made it have a snowflake design on it, but that's like the only callback to like Christmas and the holidays, like legit. This sim is like, I just want to hang by myself. I don't really care about family, blah blah blah. They're in their own little rebellious phase, so you know. Maybe they'll grow out of it one day, but you know, that's like the only like holiday callback in here though, you know. And that's pretty much it though for this bedroom. And then the last room in the house that we're going to furnish is the bathroom. So I wanted this one to look a little bit more classier, so I used some of the same wallpaper as the bathroom downstairs, and I just made it a little bit darker. I ended up using some darker tile for the bathroom floor, and that's pretty much it though for the entire build. You'll see me do a little bit of extra stuff. I ended up putting like a little bit of a fire pit upstairs just as like a little hangout spot for the teen. I also ended up putting a little back patio on this house, so there's a grill, there's a picnic table, so there's some stuff to do on this house, you know. But that's pretty much it for this speed build. If you did enjoy it, y'all, please be sure to leave a like, comment something down below, follow me over on Twitch where I stream a lot more of The Sims, and also stick around for the screenshots, because like I said, the screenshots will show you a little bit more of how the house will look when you go to download it, because sometimes I have to change things for like, you know, gameplay's sake, or maybe I don't like an item and I just delete it and replace it with another item. So, you know, stick around for the screenshots, but I will see y'all in the next video. Bye! Thanks for watching!